They say that about 50,000 years ago, a meteorite crashed into the scorching heart of Arizona with a thunderous roar from the heavens. It was not just a stone, but a giant shard of pure iron, carrying the power of thousands of suns, a force capable of shattering worlds. It left a deep scar on the face of the planet, a crater over a kilometer in diameter, one of the most majestic and best preserved on Earth. For millennia, the blazing sun, winds, and rare rains smoothed its edges, but could not hide its extraterrestrial origin. But what truly lies beneath the layers of dust, sand, and rock is a mystery no one has ever truly dared to solve. For in the very heart of this colossal scar sleeps something more than cooled metal, something else, waiting for its time, a secret that could change everything we know about the universe and about ourselves.
There it is, Laura. Look, the Arizona crater, a real hole in time, a portal to the past. Just imagine, we're the first. No one has ever dared to explore it as deeply as we're about to. All these years in the archives, all those nights of calculations, it all led here.
Temper your excitement, Jeremy. The scientific community still considers it nothing more than a primitive meteorite crater, just a big rock that fell with a loud noise. But my instincts, my data, everything tells me that down there in the center, something more is hidden, something ordered. They set up camp right on the edge of the giant bowl. Jeremy, with his unquenchable energy, worked quickly and precisely, setting up solar panels and unrolling cables. Laura, as always, was focused and methodical. She was calibrating the main device of their expedition, a deep-scanning, ground-penetrating radar, a modified model capable of peering hundreds of meters underground. Evening descended on the desert, painting the sky in crimson and violet tones. The air grew cooler, but the tension only mounted. Laura, Jeremy, come here. Look at this. Quickly.
What is it? Another basalt layer?
No. Look. At a depth of 100 meters, the radar shows a cavity. Perfectly smooth, symmetrical shape. About 2 by 3 meters in diameter. No cracks, no collapses, as if someone built it.
Looks like a sealed chamber or a survival pod. This is absolutely not a natural geological formation. We were right, Laura, we were right.
Night had fallen. The desert sank into darkness, and only myriads of stars coldly shimmered in the sky. In their small tent, dimly lit by the glow of screens, tense silence reigned. Jeremy was trying to boost the radio signal, while Laura made notes in her electronic journal. Entry number 1. First night at the crater. Radio contact with the base completely disappeared several hours ago. First there was interference, now dead silence. All instruments are behaving strangely. Readings constantly jump, and also this feeling. Something is faintly vibrating in the ground, rhythmic, as if a giant heart is beating deep beneath us.
Did you hear that?
I only hear the wind.
No, not the wind. Something else. A call.
I have to check it out. Jeremy, don't go too far. Take the radio. But he was no longer listening. Laura watched him until his figure dissolved into the darkness. Fatigue took over, and without realizing it, she drifted off to the monotonous hum of the instruments. She awoke to a sudden, deafening silence. The wind had stopped. The instruments were dead. The tent was in absolute darkness. A cold fear gripped her from within. Laura? Jeremy? Jeremy, where are you? She turned on her flashlight. Its beam caught their footprints. Here was hers. Here was Jeremy's. They led from the tent straight to the center of the crater. Laura followed them, her heart pounding in her throat. Step by step, she descended lower. And then, suddenly, she froze. Jeremy's tracks simply ended. They didn't turn, didn't tangle. They just walked forward and then abruptly stopped, as if the man walking the earth had simply dissolved into the air. No. Impossible. It's like he evaporated. At that moment, the ground in the center of the crater cracked. Deep fissures from which streams of phosphorescent vapor burst in all directions, began to spread in all directions. The soil slowly rose, swelling like a giant dome. And then, with a deafening screech of stone and metal, the ground split open. From the gaping fissure, it emerged, slowly, majestically, and terrifyingly. A giant egg. It was about 2 meters tall, with a perfectly smooth surface, black as obsidian, shimmering faintly in the flashlight's beam. Forgetting her fear, driven by the instinct of a researcher, Laura raised her camera, and with hands trembling from terror and awe, began to record. Before her eyes, the egg began to open, not crack, but smoothly separate into segments, like the petals of an exotic flower. Inside, bathed in a soft internal glow, stood a humanoid. His skin was semi-transparent, deathly pale, with slowly pulsing vessels visible beneath. Long, thin limbs, and the eyes, huge, bottomless eyes glowing with a cold, alien blue light. The humanoid slowly stepped out of his capsule and looked directly at Laura. She heard no sound, but his voice arose directly in her mind, calm, deep, ancient, and infinitely alien. You have witnessed the awakening. Do not fear. The first is already with us. He has become part of us. Now we await the others. At that moment, the shadows around them seemed to thicken, and the air became heavy and viscous, making it hard to breathe. Primal terror finally shattered the scientist's trance. Laura screamed, turned, and, abandoning everything, ran in panic out of the crater. The camera slipped from her hands, still filming the starry sky, until its battery died. Rescuers found her early in the morning. She was sitting by the torn tent, covered in dust, dehydrated, staring into nothingness. She did not resist when they led her away, but she kept whispering the same phrase over and over. It's not just a crater. It's a capsule, an ark. It has awakened. The first, he went inside, and they will surely return for the rest. Within hours, the government completely sealed off access to the Arizona crater, citing unstable geological activity. All of Laura and Jeremy's equipment, all their notes and data, were immediately consolidated and classified. Laura herself was placed in a closed facility where her words were dismissed as delirium brought about by shock and exhaustion. But sometimes, passing tourists stopping by the barricades claim that in the desert's complete silence, they hear strange, barely audible whispers rising from the depths of the crater, and at night, they see mysterious blue lights silently dancing above its center. The Arizona crater, once again, keeps its secrets. But now, it is no longer a secret of the past. It is a secret of the future. Who knows what else lurks in its dark, unexplored depths? Maybe the awakening of the first was only the beginning.